Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Live with Brittnie in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. My name is Brittnie Basant. I'm the president and CEO of Chamber South. And today I have with me an absolute powerhouse rock star herself, Miss Emily Zubi. She is the founder and CEO of Miami Women Who Rock, YPP, the Zubi Group. There's just so much. I don't know how we're going to get through it all. But Emily, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on.
I'm so excited to finally be on.
Yes, I know. We've been trying to get you on here for a minute. I'm so excited that we finally made it happen. Emily is amazing. And everyone probably already knows her because she's just such a figure and an institution here in our community. But for those that may not know you, let's start by you just walking us through your personal, professional journey, kind of like just give me the whole, like a 5-minute summation of your life story, if you could, and throw in a fun fact. It could be at the beginning or at the end or in the middle of the story, but that's just really kind of it. Walk us through your journey with a fun fact.
Okay, so I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, which a lot of people don't know, and I've always been, working class. My family, I was the eldest of 4, and probably learned how to be pretty bossy pretty early on because I'm the eldest of 4. Yeah. And we were a foster home also, an emergency foster home. So, that whole idea of sharing is caring, I grew up with it. And my parents worked, and, my dad worked really hard. He worked 2 jobs. And
so your parents were foster parents, like would take in foster kids?
We would take in emergency kids. So at one point we had 21 kids.
21 kids in your home?
Yeah, that's...
Oh, with your 4 siblings and your parents?
It was crazy.
My God.
It was crazy.
How amazing for your parents and to instill that and to show that value to their children. That's incredible. And it shows through now because you've dedicated so much of your life to philanthropy and to giving back. But sorry, I just completely, I couldn't not talk about, wow, that's incredible.
It was, it was great. And unfortunately, when I was 13, their marriage ended. And, so it was kind of, I learned how to work very early on. And all throughout my career, I went to Rutgers. And then from there, by my senior year, I already, was working and teaching police officers on child abuse detection.
Wow.
That was my first, by senior year, I was teaching at John Jay Police Academy. And I was just one of those overachievers. And my first year out of college, I went and launched an airline, People Express Airlines, which a lot of people don't remember now. But from there, that opened up a door to Wall Street. I was the first Latina at Goldman Sachs, on Wall Street. And I have these 5 to 7 year spurts where, all of a sudden I get really good at something. I'm like, I have to change. Now what do I do? And
you've peaked in that one field. So I'm like, oh, now I'm going to start over in something else completely.
That's it. And from Wall Street, I went to TV and went to Telemundo, was doing, within 30 days. Because one thing Wall Street taught me was, I was there before my boss and left after my boss. So that work ethic, you take that anywhere. And I've got to tell you, and even the airline taught me a sense of ownership. So I had a sense of entrepreneur. My dad was very much like that, man who always had a dream. And I have to say that, that he instilled that spirit in me. And working was, just a part of life. And I went from there to the TV business. And long story short, they transferred me to MTV, transferred me down here to Miami to launch MTV Latino.
Wow.
And that's how I got to Miami. And a fun fact is that I was on The Price is Right and won the showcase.
You won? Wait, what did you win?
I won a car.
Oh my God, you won a car on The Price is Right?
Yeah. This will completely mess up my 2 truths and a lie game that we do for Get Acquainted because no one ever guesses that one.
Oh my God, I would have never. That's
and the $10,000 that was like the wheel. The first people that meet you after the show is the IRS. They're like, okay. I almost passed out on the show. He goes, are you going to pass out? I go, I think so. And he goes, well, that's great for ratings.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's crazy. You want The Price is Right.
Yes.
Wow, Emily, what a journey. Okay, so continue. Sorry. So continue. So you came down here with MTV to launch MTV Latino, and that's how you came to Miami. And how long ago was that?
In 93. Okay. So I came right after Andrew. I remember driving down Bayshore, and when I saw a sailboat in the middle of the road, I thought to myself,
what did you get yourself into?
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
It was pretty different. And I just came for 1 year, and fell in love.
1
got
year
married,
turned
had a
into
baby.
over 30.
Yeah. And then you know, I had my son, which is like the pride and joy of my life, and you know, just he's something else. You know, he teaches me all my social media skills and gives me my little tips and techniques. And then he graduated, you know, and I'm an empty nester. But I really have always, I've had everything from a rep business to a tech business to, you know, taking company. I was going to take a company public before the .com market crashed. And, you know, I was trying to do streaming back in 1999. You know, the things that we can only do now, you know, and I had a name for it. It was Inter-TV Zine, which was, you know, magazine means internet meets TV.
Wow.
And it was before its time. And a lot of my friends are like, you know, if you
What a visionary.
Yeah, I mean, before its time is sometimes hard to take when it doesn't work.
Oh,
you know?
of course, yeah. But you know, hindsight, you can look back at it and be like, okay, yeah, so it did work out. Like we could have made that happen.
Right.
Yeah, that's incredible, and that's truly the mark of a visionary. So
that,
yes.
I think always, you know, like MTV, every piece of my career taught me something different, and I'm really about soul lessons. And I mean, MTV had this phrase, you know, think global and act local. And you know, I think about Miami Women Rock and everything else, and it applies to everything that I think about. Is, you know, how does this appeal on a global level? And you know, but I am definitely a visionary, and I always need people around me that can take my vision and put them into action, because
Got all the great ideas. We need someone to implement.
well, you know, like the
technology and the logistics of it might be a little.
You know what? This is what I'm thinking. You know, which is why you know I've worked with Michelle Reese events. And
she's incredible.
She takes every vision of mine and puts it into action.
Michelle,
and I don't have to even say that much to her. So
yeah, huge shout out to Michelle Reese, because like wow, what she can do for an event and how she can transform your just like thoughts and ideas into something tangible. It's incredible.
It's like mind speak. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, take me to Paris. And, you know, she's like, I got you.
I got it. That's it. That's all you need to say. Like one sentence and she's done. That's
it.
amazing. Okay. So you've done just such a gamut of things and such a diverse subset. And when you look at it, you know, it's all so different from Wall Street to MTV to everything in between. But when you were like a little girl, a little baby Emily, if someone said, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was your answer?
An actress.
An actress.
I wanted to be on TV.
Okay, well, that kind of, because my follow-up to that is like, how do you feel that shaped what you do today?
I think I've gone through a lot in life, and there's a lot of ups and downs. I have a blog, Comeback Queen, because there are a lot of things that, you know, probably I always say that every setback is worthy of a comeback. And no matter what you go through in life, I mean, I try to keep an attitude of gratitude and do that. But there are a lot of lessons, you know. You know, certainly growing up, there were a lot of things that I had to learn, and in relationships and business. And I feel like I have so many lessons. It's probably why I'm so obsessed with hearing the why. You know, I read this Simon Sinek book that, you know, to know your why. And my why is I'm in love with this story. And, you know, probably why I wanted to be an actress, you know, growing up, because I love watching the story unfold. Yeah. And there's so many layers to women, especially because, you know, we act strong, you know, and, you know, we can put on, you know, we wear so many hats in one given day, but, you know, little do you know what they're suffering with physically or emotionally or in any other way. And we put on that tough face, but, you know, inside we can be crumbling.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we were chatting about this a little bit earlier, because you said every setback is worthy of a comeback. And before the show, we were talking about, like, you can't really control kind of what's happening around you. All you can really control is your response to it. So you can get knocked down, and you can choose, well, do I want to stay down or do I want to get back up? And I love that that's your philosophy, is, you know, having that comeback. I think that's incredible.
Resilience is my superpower.
Yeah. Yes.
Perseverance, resilience.
You have to be able. You have to be able to. You can't allow yourself to be like knocked down. You got to shoulder on and stand back up and keep moving. So this is going to be a really interesting question because I feel like we've touched on it in so many different aspects already. But what would you say that you are the most passionate about? You said some of the things that you really enjoy and some of the things that you really love, but what would you say you're the most passionate about?
I'm really passionate about health and learning about health. There are a lot of things. I mean, I didn't grow up eating really healthy, or that wasn't just something I learned. But I'm always interested in things that can improve our health, and I'm really passionate about. Right now I'm writing a book, and I feel like I've attempted that many times, but it finally clicked what I wanted to do.
What story you wanted to tell?
What story I wanted to tell, because I ended up with a vocal cord disability, and at the point where I had so much to say, it's called Diane-Rehm disease, and at the point where I had so much to say, I lost my voice and physically, and it was kind of like a God moment, where you say like, wait, I have so much to say.
I still have so much to say.
I still have so much to say, and I have to time it. And but definitely, I am super passionate about sharing the story and sharing the lessons of life, because at this age, I feel like I have so much left to say.
Yes. Well, and so much wisdom and knowledge that has been gained that I think needs to be communicated and needs to be passed on and needs to be told. And you're writing a book, and I know a little briefly about what it is, and it ties into My Woman Who Rocks. So let's talk, because I want to get back to the book. I don't want to leave anyone hanging on. What's this book? When can we expect it? What's going to be in it? All of this stuff. But let's pivot a little bit and talk about My Woman Who Rock, because it's going to tie into the book. So My Woman Who Rock. First and foremost, I've been a member of My Woman Who Rock now for quite a number of years, actually. Yes, and then
and an honoree,
and an honoree, Rising Star honoree, and I've been part of the YPP group with young professionals and philanthropists. And so when I first joined My Women Who Rock, I think back in like 2018, 2019, it was a smaller group, and it has grown, and everyone's talking about it, and everyone wants to know, what is My Woman Who Rock? How do I get involved? How to become a member? How do, all of these things. And it's an incredible powerhouse of philanthropic women. So tell me about this group that you have not only founded and curated, but grown now and put on the map as, the hot thing in Miami right now.
Thank you. Well, it's a movement. It really is. And the best thing about it is, and the short of it is that we are a powerhouse network of women in business that believe in giving back and focus in on empowerment, education, acknowledging rock stars in our community. So we've been all over the news with our Rock Star Award, which is, we've actually been honoring women since 2007. But really, 2010 is when we launched 50 Shades of Pink and had a whole nother mission. And we have worked probably with over, 75, 80, I don't know how many charities, but we always change that. So part of what I love to do.
My Women Who Rock, a huge component of My Women Who Rock is philanthropy. And then the group the subset that stemmed out of that for the younger, like the young professionals group, you actually titled it YPP, Young Professionals and Philanthropists. Right. So philanthropy is at the center of everything that you do, that you focus on with My Women Who Rock, with YPP, with the Zubi Group. Philanthropy is at the center of it. Yeah,
corporate social responsibility is our legacy. I mean, and I tell my son all the time, it's like there's nothing like a spirit of giving, and gifts are my love language. So
oh, there you go.
There you go. But I think that whole idea of it's we build a life by what we give,
Yes.
So that's absolutely true. But the other part that people don't realize is that we have a lot of powerhouses that are, like trailblazers, like, in the YPP, that we're focusing on service, not only, because what we found with the Rising Star Awards is that the people, these young trailblazers and CEOs, what they wanted to do was give to causes that they were passionate about, involved with, and could be of service. And that's the big distinction between the YPP and the Founder Circle. The Founder Circle we started in 2017, and that just really, what happens with our Founder Circle, it's by invitation only, but it's women who basically get to nominate and select our Rockstar Award honorees. And that's important because sometimes I don't even meet some of these Rockstar Award honorees till the day of the event. I try to host an event before that to get to know them, but it's not Emily's friends that get.
No, of course not. No,
and that's important because
it's an important distinction to make. It's not just, you're not just handpicking people.
No.
You've got a powerhouse of women who are connected and deeply, I mean, you are as well too, but connected and deeply involved in the community that are saying these are the women that deserve to be honored. And sometimes it's, I remember one of the honorees this year, Michelle Shirley, who's the CEO of Be Strong International. A huge shout out to Michelle. She's awesome.
Love you, Michelle.
But when she announced that she had been selected for this award, the way that she announced it, I remember the post so clearly. She said on there, she's like, you're just you're going about your everyday life. You're doing what you're doing. You're working towards your mission and your vision and your goals and what you believe to be the right thing to do. And, you got your head down and you're in the bunker and you're working, right? Because that's what she does. She runs a not-for-profit. She runs a not-for-profit that serves underprivileged communities, that teaches, healthy relationships. But she's working at it every single day. And then she says, and then someone says, I see you. And I see the work that you're doing. And she's like, and she felt very seen from that award. And it was so beautiful, like the way that because she just felt like, I'm here every single day working. I'm not out there, trying to promote herself. She's doing what's best for the organization. But someone's like, I see you.
Right.
I see what you're doing. So I think it's really important that you.
That's got me all choked up.
I know.
I'm like,
it's heartwarming.
It is heartwarming. And, when you hear that, that's like, you hope to make a difference in someone's life at the right point.
Yeah. Well, you've created that platform where women can be seen and heard and recognized and, celebrated for the amazing things that they're doing. Okay, so we've got My Women Who Rock. You've got 50 Shades of Pink. What else do you do? The YPP does their Rising Star. So because we talk a lot about My Women Who Rock. So again, Founder Circle, by invitation only, an incredible group of women. How many members do you have now? I think you're up to maybe mid-40s, almost 50 in that group.
We have on the Founder Circle about 40, and on the YPP we're at 37. We try to keep both circles no more than 50.
Yeah, because
50 is our number.
Yeah.
And that way we can serve them. And we're really figuring out how to serve the Founder Circle, I think, we know.
Yeah.
But the YPP Circle, it's different. And they want to be engaged. They're calling me. They're like, when's our next event?
Let's do
what
stuff.
Are we doing?
It's because it's, young professionals, especially now, I think, really hands-on. They want to do things. They want to just be hands-on and give back and be connected. And again, you've curated this beautiful platform for that. So let's talk about the YPP, because is that also by invitation only?
Yes.
Okay. So YPP is by invitation only. It's catered to a more young professionals group. And again, it's called Young Professionals and Philanthropists. And they also give back in a different way through direct contributions and through service. And then they host their Rising Star event, which you also honor. Amazing trailblazers.
Which is going to be coming up. So that's going to be our next event. And we always do it outdoors under the stars, diamonds in the sky. We've had a couple themes that we've been, playing with. But the biggest thing for us is engagement. So, people always ask, and we're over 5,000 strong in terms of our database and our contacts and people that engage with us. Our events sell out literally in 5 weeks, and people tell me that there's no way. I go, we do.
Well, I mean, okay, so have you been to Emily Zubi, My Women Who Rock event? And you'll see why. I mean, when you create fantasy worlds. I mean, the last one that you did at 50 Shades of Pink, it was Take Me to Paris, and you walked in and you were in Paris. I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, first and foremost, yes, there are amazing events and they're honoring incredible people, but the experience itself, that's why people want to be there. It's so elevated, so beautiful. You really do an incredible job at that.
Yeah, and the 50 Shades of Pink, I mean, my mother, I lost her young, and she had breast cancer when I was 18, and she really battled. And so 50 Shades of Pink, this year we partnered with Pink Luminous Advocacy Project because they were launching an app and changing really,
Marilyn's amazing
cancer.
what she's doing.
Marilyn's amazing. So, but we typically change every year the partner, and 50 Shades of Pink, has been the breast initiative. Next year we're looking at getting involved with heart initiatives and with the American Heart Association.
Yes, that would be incredible.
Florida.
Yes.
So we're always trying to marry the best of philanthropy, business, support, and
something that you
women.
did this year at 50 Shades of Pink, which was really beautiful, was that you asked all breast cancer survivors to come up to it. And it was a surprise. No one knew that it was happening. You know, it wasn't like predetermined. But you said, "Oh, are there any breast cancer survivors in the audience?" And they went up and they were able to walk the runway with a medallion identifying them as a survivor. And it was a really beautiful, powerful, touching, heartwarming, inspirational moment for the crowd. And I know some people who were breast cancer survivors and walked that runway and what it meant to them to have that support.
It is the most touching moment. Our award, even that, was designed by an artist, a mosaic artist, and it's a woman bathed in healing light, and literally has all these beautiful shades. And the medallion is that. Every year, we had one moment where we had over 40 survivors at one event. And when they got the medallion, we were singing "I Will Survive," and it went viral. But it is a really touching point because they have gone through it, they've battled, and, you know, they're there, and it's just, you know, that moment is the one that brings tears to everyone's eyes.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got Miami Women Who Rock, we've got YPP, and those are sort of like more of the philanthropy-based groups. Let's talk a little bit about the Zubi Group, because I don't know how you do all of these things, Emily. Like 3 different organizations running over here. But let's talk a little bit about the Zubi Group, if you want to talk about that. I know that you're doing some really cool things there.
Yeah, we're really excited. We have our legacy project. So
that's the book.
That's one of them. One is on me.
Okay.
And then the legacy book is really the who's who, 50 rock star leaders, and we have people being nominated and who are at the top of their field. Different industries, so it's, you know, philanthropy, business, CEOs, and different, you know, everything from real estate to yacht to boating. We have a yacht sponsor.
Wow.
So
I think the book launch is going to be on a yacht, right?
It is going to be on a yacht.
Oh my God, I love it.
It is, and but the beautiful thing is, what I thought to myself is, you know, when I lost my voice, what other skills can I use? And I had to really get creative, which, you know, is something I'm pretty good at. And I just really wanted to create a legacy piece. So this is going to be like a coffee book, and it's hardcover. We did an inaugural magazine.
Yes.
But this is going to be, you know, I've met so many great leaders that are the crossover, because, you know, Miami Women Rock has a platform. We call them platform partners. And some of them have become clients for me, and I do my boutique, like, marketing consulting for them. And they're all luxury brands that believe in giving back. And I always tie those things together. And it's been wonderful. So this legacy project is going to be like a coffee book. It's going to be a lot of photos and different photographers, celebrity photographers that, you know, I've worked with in different magazines.
Oh my gosh, how incredible.
It's probably, you know.
What's the launch date for when do we anticipate this project being completed?
The first 12 we're going to announce at the end of June.
Okay.
And then we will have the book ready in 2024.
Okay.
So, and it's, you know, going to be a mosaic, and really it's going to be about every picture tells a story, because I do believe that, and I think you capture the essence. So, you know, what we're going to touch on with all the leaders are their business, their philanthropy, their life, family, faith. Like, who are you in a nutshell? Like, when you ask me, like,
your 5-minute life story.
Yeah, not a lot of text, but, you know, a snapshot, a philosophy. I mean, your favorite, you know, phrase. I believe God, you know, I'm a very faith-based woman, and I believe, you know, God moves mountains, but bring a shovel.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yes, you have to be able to do some of the work yourself too. Like, God will give you the opportunities and put things in your path, but you have to be able to accept those and do what's needed.
Yes.
So that's incredible. Wow.
That's exciting.
Okay, so what else are you doing with the Zubi Group?
Just right now I have the Sloth Republic. I've done some work with an airline that does charters. and Global X, I've done some work with them, and I have another airline client. I've tried to specialize in short-term projects where I can move the needle,
Right.
and to me, that's what it's about. It's just getting them, Laura
Seeing that
Renzi
change,
is all,
yeah.
and I mean, I love the idea that her brand and the energy, and I have another Founder Circle member, Patty, who's in the Coco Plum Aero Group, and so I'm going back to my aviation roots.
There you go.
And private charters, and doing some stuff with the yacht company. So it's luxury, and corporate social responsibility branding.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us here today. I can't believe how quickly the time flew by.
I know. You are amazing. I love the way you do this.
It's just chatting. It's just a conversation between friends. That's what I tell people all the time. It's just a conversation between friends, and you get to learn a lot about you. And it's just, this is how, if you talk to me, this is how we talk anyways. As we wrap up, I think we always close and we always talk about like advice. And I think I'm going to change it a little bit this time and say, what's your personal philosophy? And I think you mentioned a couple of things. You were talking about, God moves mountains, but bring a shovel. But what's your, how do you live your life? What's your personal philosophy? What do you believe in every single day?
I believe that you have to hit the reset button every single day. And, and sometimes you have to hit it several times within the day. But, one day at a time, I really believe that my whole idea of a karma bank is like I try to make a deposit every day. And, I work with so many people, and, I don't want to hear gossip. I don't want to hear, and if someone tells me, I'm like, my karma bank, I'm on a karma diet. I can't hear that today. But I try to live positive with positive energy. And, I think trying to build a future that I'm proud of. I always say to myself, whatever, we're not promised tomorrow. So if I can make the best of what I have today and live it the best way, and some days are better than others, and some days I live up to that promise, some days I don't. But and the third thing is just don't sweat the small stuff. I think sometimes we could get caught up in obsessing in life over these little things that, when they think about it, is it a lump in my breast or a lump in my oatmeal? Know what's important, know what matters.
That's really, oh my God, that's just incredible, incredible advice. I love that. I absolutely love that. You said, it's your responsibility to build a future that you're proud of, and I completely agree. You've got to make sure that at the end of the day, your conscience is clear. We were talking about this before, right? Can you go home, can you go to bed knowing that you have a clear conscience, that you, in every opportunity, in every situation that you were presented with, did what was the right thing to do, what was the best thing to do, what would make sure that you could have that future that you're proud of. Don't sweat the small stuff. Make sure that you are very acutely aware of your karma bank and what your deposits and withdrawals look like.
Oh, yeah.
I think that that's a great way to put it, just having that karma bank. So thank you, Emily. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your life and your wisdom and your passion and your energy with us today. We've loved having you on the show. Again, guys, this has been Live with Brittnie in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. So if you want to be featured on Live with Brittnie, feel free to reach out to us at Chamber South. You can call us at the office, 305-661-1621, or you can email us at info@chambersouth.com. And